Hey everyone, today's a special day. It's my birthday. And to celebrate, I wanted to share something special with you. A collection of Arthur Conan Doyle's favorite Sherlock Holmes stories, old-time radio edition. So sit back, relax, and let's begin with Sherlock Holmes, a scandal in Bohemia.
And now I know Dr. Watson's waiting for us, so let's go in and join him.
Come in.
Good evening, Dr. Watson.
Good evening, Mr. Bartell. You're quite muffled up tonight, I see. Overcoat, scarf, and gloves. Slip 'em off and come and join me by the fire.
Thanks, Doctor. Quite a nip in the air tonight.
Yes, there is indeed.
Well, Doctor, you told us last week that tonight's story centered around the activities of a brilliant and beautiful woman.
Yes, my boy. Her name was Irene Adler, but I never knew Holmes to refer to her by any other name than the woman.
She sounds mighty intriguing. How did you happen to meet up with her?
Well, I'll tell you the story from the beginning. One night, it was on the 20th of March, 1888 to be exact, I was returning home from a visit to a patient when my steps led me through Baker Street. Since my marriage, I hadn't seen much of Sherlock Holmes.
And you couldn't resist stopping by 221B, I'm sure, Doctor.
Of course I couldn't. As I stood outside the well-remembered door, I looked up at the lighted windows and saw the tall, spare figure of my old friend pass twice in dark silhouette against the blind. He was pacing the room swiftly, eagerly, with his head sunk on his chest and his hands clasped behind him. To me, who knew his every mood and habit, his attitude and manner told their own story. He was hot on the scent of some new problem. I rang the bell, and a few moments later, found myself standing before him.
Marriage suits you, Watson. You look in splendid shape.
Yes, I'm feeling very well, thanks.
And in practice again, I see. You didn't tell me that you'd gone back into harness.
Oh, how do you know?
Elementary, my dear chap. If a gentleman walks into my rooms smelling of iodoform with a black mark of nitrate of silver on his right forefinger and a bulge on the left side of his hat to show where he has secreted his stethoscope, I should be dull indeed if I didn't pronounce him to be an active member of the medical profession.
Same as ever, Holmes. By the way, I'm not interrupting you, am I?
Yes, you are, old fellow, but it's a most welcome interruption.
You're working on a new case?
It looks like it. This letter arrived by the last post today. It's undated and has neither signature nor address. Read it.
Look. They will call upon you tonight at 7:45 a gentleman who desires to consult you upon a matter of the very deepest moment. Your recent services to one of the royal houses of Europe have shown that you are one who may safely be trusted. This account of you we have from all quarters received. Be in your chamber, then, at that hour, and do not take it amiss if your visitor wears a mask. Great Scott, it all sounds very mysterious. What do you imagine it means?
Look carefully at the note, Watson. What do you deduce from it?
Oh, let's see. Well, the man who wrote it was presumably well-to-do. Such paper couldn't be bought for under half a crown a packet. And it's peculiarly strong and stiff.
Peculiar. That's the very word. It's not an English paper at all. Hold it up to the light. You notice anything?
Yes. There's a large E with a small G, and a large G with a small T woven into the texture of the paper.
What does that suggest to you?
The name of the maker, no doubt, or perhaps his monogram.
Not at all, my dear fellow. The G with a small T stands for Gesellschaft, which is the German for company.
And the EG?
That stands for Igria. It's a German-speaking country in Bohemia, not far from Carlsbad.
So the paper was made in Bohemia?
Undoubtedly. The man who wrote the note is a German.
Well, how do you know that?
Observe the curious construction of the sentence. This account of you we have from all quarters received. A Frenchman or a Russian could not have written that. It's the German who is so discourteous to his verbs.
Oh, there's your client now. I'd better go home.
No, unless you have to.
Well, I could stay. I thought perhaps...
Oh, then, my dear chap, stay by all means. I'm lost without my Boswell, and this promises to be interesting. I told Mrs. Hudson to let the masked visitor come upstairs unannounced. Come in. Good evening, sir.
You received my note?
Yes, indeed. Come in, won't you? Sit down. This is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. You may say anything before him that you can say to me. Whom have I the honor to address?
You may address me as Count von Kram.
How do you do, sir?
You must excuse this mask that I wear. The august person who employs me wishes his agent to be unknown to you. And I may confess at once that the title by which I have just called myself is not exactly my own.
I was well aware of that fact, sir.
You see, Mr. Holmes, the matter I'm about to discuss implicates the great house of Ormstein, hereditary kings of Bohemia.
That had not escaped me either, sir. In fact, if you will state your case, I shall be better able to advise you. Your Majesty.
How did you... Yes. Yes, I am the king. Why should I attempt to conceal it?
Why, indeed.
I shall remove the mask. There. Mr. Holmes, I have traveled incognito from Prague for the express purpose of consulting you.
Then pray consult.
Briefly, the facts are these. Some 5 years ago, during a visit to Warsaw, I meet the acquaintance of the well-known adventuress, Irene Adler.
Irene Adler? We know of her, Your Majesty.
Now look her up in the index for me, will you, Watson? It's right beside you on the desk there.
I imagine that the name would not be unfamiliar to you.
Here we are. Abrahams, Acton Green, Hatchet Murders. Adler.
Splendid. Hand me the file, old chap. Thank you. Irene Adler. Born in New Jersey in the United States of America in 1858. Contralto. Prima donna Imperial Opera of Warsaw. Oh. Retired from our operatic stage. Living in London. Quite so. And here's a recent notation. Your Majesty, as I understand, became entangled with this young person. Wrote her some compromising letters and is now desirous of getting those letters back.
Precisely so, but how...
Was there a secret marriage?
None.
No legal papers or certificates?
No.
Then I fail to follow, Your Majesty. If this young lady should produce her letters for blackmailing purposes, how is she to prove their authenticity?
There's the handwriting.
That could be a forgery, Your Majesty.
But it was private notepaper.
Stolen.
My own seal.
Imitated.
My photograph.
Bought.
What? We were both in the photograph.
Oh, dear me. Yes, that's very bad. Your Majesty has indeed committed an indiscretion.
Did you inscribe this photograph, Your Majesty?
Yes, Dr. Watson, I am afraid I did.
Good gracious me.
Mr. Holmes, it must be recovered.
Perhaps if you were to pay enough, the photograph might be bought.
She refuses to sell.
Stolen, then.
5 attempts have been made. Twice, burglars in my pay ransacked our house. Once, we diverted her luggage when she traveled. Twice, she has been waylaid. There has been no result.
Oh, yes, quite a pretty little problem.
It is a deadly serious one to me.
Your Majesty, what does Miss Adler intend to do with the photograph?
To ruin me.
Now, how, sir?
Well, I am about to be married to the second daughter of the King of Scandinavia. She is the soul of delicacy. A shadow of a doubt as to my conduct would bring the matter to an end.
And Irene Adler threatens to send the photograph to your fiancé, I suppose.
Yes, and she will do it. Rather than let me marry another woman, there are no lengths to which she would not go. None.
Are you sure that she hasn't already sent it, Your Majesty?
I am sure.
And why?
She said she would send it on the day my betrothal is publicly announced. That day will be next Monday.
Splendid. Then we still have 3 days. Your Majesty will, of course, stay in London for the present?
Yes, certainly. You will find me at the Langham Hotel, registered as Count von Kram.
Just 2 questions before you leave.
What are they?
Is the photograph large or small?
Quite large. And it was in a heavy frame.
I see. And what is Irene Adler's London address, please?
Briony Lodge, Serpentine Avenue, St. John's Wood.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Good night, and I trust that we shall soon have some good news for you.
I am placing all my hopes in you, Mr. Holmes. Good night. Good night, Dr. Basil.
Good night, Your Majesty. Fascinating problem, Holmes. I wish I could help you with it.
You can, my dear chap. I shall be glad of your company.
That's our first move, Holmes.
A good night's rest. We'll meet here at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
And then?
Then, my dear fellow, we will see what we can find out about Miss Irene Adler, late of the Warsaw Imperial Opera Company, and at present residing at Briony Lodge, Serpentine Avenue, St. John's Wood.
Well, Holmes, a cursory examination of Brownlee Lodge didn't prove very illuminating.
No, a bijou residence that represents the essence of dignified suburbia, but tells us very little about the owner. I think a visit to the local public house might prove more instructive. Come on, old chap. I see the door of the Coach and Horses inviting us from across the road.
Well, our disguises shouldn't cause any no?
I suggested them. In the character of a couple of stablehams, I felt that we might inspire confidence. This is a horsey neighborhood. There's a wonderful sympathy and freemasonry among that fraternity. There we are. Better let me do most of the talking.
Yes, I will. I'm sure that your accent will be more convincing than mine.
Go in, shall we?
What'll it be, mateys?
Half a bowl of more, please. How about you, Charlie?
I'll have the same.
2 half of old and mild. Here we are, mateys. That'll be a tenner.
Have a drink with us, Governor?
Oh, don't mind if I do. I'll have a Guinness. You blokes new around here?
Oh, yes, we had just come over from Clapham.
Clapham, eh? Well, here's looking at you. You hunting for jobs?
Yes, that's right. Well, we was told that Miss Arthur, of course, of Brownlee Lodge, needed a new coachman and groom.
Well, it's the first I've heard of it, but it might be true. Have you been over there to ask?
No, not yet. We thought we'd find out something about the old girl first.
She ain't no old girl, matey. She's the prettiest young thing you ever saw under a bonnet, and that's a fact.
You know her, Governor?
Yeah, of course I know her. Used to drive a carriage, I did, before I come to work here.
Oh, what's she like?
Well, nice little lady as you'll find, chum.
Work hard?
No. She lives quiet like. Goes out singing at concerts once in a while. Rest of the time, it's money for jam. She goes out for a drive in the park every day at 5 and comes back to dinner at 6:30. Rest of the time, she's out.
No, shan't manage, you say?
No. But she's got a bloke what comes to see her all the time. He's a barrister. Nice gentleman. Mr. Geoffrey Norton is his name. Good-looking fella. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get sliced.
Sounds like a nice cushy job to me. Come on, Charlie. Let's get over to the house and see what's what. Much obliged to you, chum.
Well, good luck, matey.
Good night.
And thanks for the Guinness.
What's our next move, Holmes?
Let's stroll back to Brownlee Lodge, shall we? I'm undecided whether to continue my investigations there or to try and find out something about Mr. Geoffrey Norton, the barrister. If he is just her lawyer and nothing else, it's more than likely that she's entrusted the photograph to his safekeeping.
Hello, there's a cab waiting outside Miss Adler's house.
Hurry, Watson. Maybe Mr. Norton's.
Here we are at the gate.
Yes. And here comes a man hurrying down the pathway. Quick. Hide this post. Listen.
Where to now, Mr. Norton?
Try like the devil. First to Gross and Hankey's in Regent Street, and then to the Church of St. Monica in the Edgware Road. Half a sovereign if you do it in 20 minutes.
Right you are, Mr. Norton. Off in.
Try and signal the cab, Watson. We must follow him.
Here comes one. No, it isn't. It's a private carriage.
Miss Ardler's, no doubt. Oh, here she comes down the pathway. Back again behind the post, Watson.
Where to, Miss Adler?
The Church of St. Monica, John, and half a sovereign if you reach it in 20 minutes.
James, foot! Quick! We must get a cab and follow them.
Here comes a hansom. Cabby! Hurry, cabby!
Have you blokes got enough money to take a
Here's
cab?
half a sovereign for you, my man.
Right you are. Where to, Governor?
The Church of St. Monica on the Edgware Road, and another half sovereign for you if you get us there in 20 minutes.
We'll hear the rest of Dr. Watson's story in just a second, but let me tell you something. If you're going to have chicken for dinner tomorrow night, or any night, don't forget to serve that chicken with Petri California Sauterne. Believe me, Petri Sauterne is just about the last word in white wines. It's beautifully golden in color, it's delicate and intriguing in flavor, and it's just, well, you taste it and see for yourself. If you want a delicious white wine, you certainly want Petri Sauterne. Well, Doctor, again, you broke off your story at the most exciting point. Did you and Sherlock Holmes reach that church inside the 20 minutes?
Yes, Mr. Bartell, we did, but the other carriages were there before us. Holmes went into the church after telling me to guard the outside. I must have waited for 10 minutes or more before Mr. Geoffrey Norton and Miss Adler came out. Spoke a few words to each other, and then left in their separate conveyances. A moment later, Holmes, still dressed as a stable hand, came striding out of the church and down the steps towards me. He was obviously very excited.
Watson, have they left?
Yes, in separate cabs. I overheard him say that he was going back to his office, and she said, I shall drive out in the park at 5 o'clock as usual.
Splendid. Then come on. We can return to Baker Street.
What happened inside the church, Holmes?
They were married.
Married?
Of course. The ceremony would have been illegal if performed afternoon. That accounted for their wild dash to the church. Jump into the cab, old fellow.
Where to now, Governor?
221B Baker Street.
Oh, so they got married, eh?
Yes, and it may amuse you to know that I acted as witness at the ceremony.
You did, but how did that happen?
Their own witness had failed to appear, and I was dragged into the breach. The bride gave me this sovereign as a memento. I think I'll wear it on my watch chain in memory of the occasion.
What an amazing situation. Things begin to look better for the king, don't they? Now that she's Mrs. Norton, the chances are that she won't want to expose His Majesty after all.
I hope so, Watson, I hope so. But we can't afford to take any chances. I think the time is ripe for us to come to closer grips with the lady.
Well, Holmes, now that we've eaten, perhaps you'll tell me your plan.
With pleasure, my dear fellow. And while I'm so doing, I'll proceed with applying the makeup of my new disguise.
Another disguise? What's it to be this
I think
time?
the character and appearance of an amiable, simple-minded, nonconformist clergyman would be the most suited to my plan for entering Miss Adler's house.
You're going to try and enter, then?
I must, my dear fellow. I'm sure the photograph is there. Miss Adler, or rather, Mrs. Norton, who will return from her drive in the park at 6:30. We must be at Briony Lodge to meet her.
And what then?
You must leave that to me. I've already made my arrangements. There is only one point on which I must insist. You must not interfere, come what may, you understand?
I'm to remain neutral.
Yes. There will be some small unpleasantness. Don't join in. It will end in my being conveyed into the house. As soon as I'm able to, I shall open one of the windows. You're to watch from the outside. When I raise my hand, you will throw an object that I shall give you through the window and at the same time cry, fire. You follow me?
Entirely, but what am I to throw?
Oh, it's nothing very formidable. Here it is.
Looks like a great big cigar. What is it?
Ordinary plumber's smoke rocket. Fitted with a cap at either end to make it self-lighting. Your task is confined to throwing it through the window. When you raise the cry of fire, it will be taken up by quite a number of people. You may then walk to the end of the street, and I'll rejoin you in 10 minutes. I hope I've made myself clear.
Perfectly.
Good. And now, old fellow, as soon as I've donned my clerical attire, let's be on our way. There's no time to be lost.
Nearly 6:30, Holmes. We've been pacing up and down in front of her house for half an hour now. I hope she does come back.
I'm sure she will.
There seem to be a lot of loafers hanging around her gate.
All part of my conspiracy, old chap. You'll see them play their parts in a few minutes.
You still think the photograph is inside the house?
Yes, it's most unlikely that she carries it about with her. Remember, the king told us it was a large frame picture. And also remember that she planned to use it within a few days. It must be where she can lay her hands on it. It must be inside her house.
But her house has been burgled twice.
They didn't know how to look.
How will you look?
I won't. I'll get her to show me.
Well, she'll refuse.
She won't be able to... Shh. Here comes the carriage now. Remember, Watson, carry out my orders to the letter.
You can trust me.
Good luck.
Blimey, here comes the Duchess of Diddley. Let's put out her carpet. She might get her tootsies wet.
Oh, put a sock in it, Elfie.
Leave him alone. She's no better than she ought to be.
Please, let me through. I live here.
Well, ain't that nice? We'll all come in and have a cup of cat.
Move out of the way, please, and let the lady through.
Mind your own business. Just because your collar's turned the wrong way round, you can't spoil our fun.
That's right, Eddie. Keep your nose out of it, Parson.
Please don't fight about it.
No, I'll tell you what. Stop molesting the lady, please.
Do you? Then how would you like a biff on the nose?
Oh, he hit the poor man, and then he ran away, the coward. Is the clergyman badly hurt?
He hit his head, Mum, as he fell. If you asks me, he's that bad. He's bleeding something terrible. Can we bring him in, Mum? He can't lie here in the street.
Oh, why, of course. Bring him in.
Right you are, Mum. Here, Bert.
Right,
Give us a hand.
Coo, poor fella. Did you see what happened to him, mister?
Yes, I saw, my good woman. A very convincing demonstration.
What you mean?
Weren't you paid by a certain gentleman for this performance?
Oh, you knows about it, too. You must be a friend of Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, I am.
Oh, nice gentleman. He give us 5 bob apiece for tonight's work. We ain't through yet, though. We got to start yelling fire when somebody tells us.
I'm that somebody, my dear lady. There's Mr. Holmes now. He's inside the house.
Yes, he's opening a window.
Now he's raising his hand. That's my signal. Now to throw the rocket. There we are. Fire! Holmes, there you are. You have the photograph?
No, but I know what it is. She showed me, as I told you she would.
Oh, I'm still in the dark.
There's no mystery, old chap. When my accomplices started around the street, I had a little moist red paint in my hand. My good friend Alfie pretended to strike me. I clapped my hand to my head and fell down. It's an old trick.
Yes, I understand that, but how did my throwing the rocket help
It's
you?
all important, my dear fellow. When a woman thinks her house is on fire, her instinct is at once to rush for the thing that she values most. A married one grabs her baby. An unmarried one reaches for a jewel box. In this case, of course, it was the photograph.
Where was it?
In the recess in the living room, just above the right-hand bell pull. I caught a glimpse of it as she drew it out. When I made it known that the fire was a false alarm, she replaced the photograph. As soon as I was able to, I advised her that I was feeling well enough to leave.
You didn't take the photograph then?
No, I felt that over-precipitance at this stage might ruin everything.
What do we do now?
Drive to the Langham Hotel and inform His Majesty of what has happened. Then return with him here. After that, my dear chap, the case will be ended.
This is Barney Lodge, Your Majesty.
I'm all impatience. You are certain the photograph will still be there, Mr. Holmes?
I have every reason to believe so, Your Majesty.
I must confess this is going to be something of an ordeal.
Then I suggest that you let me do the talking, Your Majesty. I think I know how to handle the lady.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I believe.
Yes, I am Mr. Holmes, but how did you know?
My mistress told me you would be likely to call. She has left for the continent with her husband.
You mean she's left England?
Never to return.
Then the papers and the photograph. All is lost.
We'll soon see. Follow me.
He said you'd be looking for something. I hope you'll find it.
This was the rope. Sliding panel behind it. There it is.
Is the photograph there, Mr. Holmes?
There is a photograph, Your Majesty, but it's a photograph of the lady alone. Here's a letter, and it's addressed to me.
What does it say, Holmes?
My dear Mr. Sherlock Holmes, you really did it very well. Until after the fire alarm, I had no suspicion. But then when I realized how I had betrayed myself, I began to think. I'd been warned that if the king employed an agent, he would certainly employ you. May I congratulate you on your disguise as a dear old clergyman?
Great Scott, he was much more clever than you thought, Holmes.
Yeah, go on. What else does it say?
And my husband and I both thought that the best recourse was flight. So you will find the nest empty. As to the photograph of the king and myself, His Majesty may rest in peace. Oh, thank goodness for that. I love and am loved by a better man than he. I leave another photograph, however, that he might care to possess. And I remain, dear Mr. Sherlock Holmes, very truly yours, Irene Norton, née Adler. What a woman, Watson. What a woman. What a magnificent woman. She fooled me completely. But, I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I've been unable to bring your business to a more successful conclusion.
On the contrary, my dear sir, nothing could be more successful. I know that Irene's word is inviolate. The incriminating photograph is now as safe as if it were in the fire.
Well, I'm glad to hear Your Majesty say so.
I'm immensely indebted to you. Pray tell me, in what way I can reward you? This beryl ring that I wear, I should be proud.
Your Majesty has something that I should value even more highly.
You have but to name it.
This photograph, sir.
Irene's photograph? But certainly. However, you must let me give you something more substantial.
No, Your Majesty. This is something I shall treasure all my life. This and a golden sovereign I received from the lady's hand. They will remind me that I was once tricked by a woman. A woman that I shall never forget.
Up next, the Red-Headed League.
Now, Dr. Watson, how about the Red-Headed League?
Well, the adventure began one day during the autumn of the year 1890, I believe it was. It was just after my marriage, and I hadn't seen much of Sherlock Holmes lately. Anyway, I burst in upon my old friend to find him deep in conversation with a stout, florid-faced gentleman with the fiercest red hair it has ever been my privilege to observe. I was about to withdraw when Holmes pulled me abruptly into the room and closed the door behind me.
Come in, my dear Watson, come in. You couldn't possibly have come at a better time.
But, Holmes, I was afraid you might be busy.
So I am, my dear fellow. Allow me. Mr. Wilson, this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson.
How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Sit down, Watson, sit down.
Thank you.
I know that you share my love of the bizarre, although you've never agreed that for the strangest effects and most extraordinary combinations we must go to life itself.
Well, you know,
Mr. Japers Wilson here has just started a narrative which promises to be one of the most singular to which I've listened for some time.
Oh, really?
And now, my dear Mr. Wilson, perhaps you would have the great kindness to recommence your story.
Oh, certainly, Mr. Holmes. As soon as I can find that newspaper clipping. Where did I put it? I'd have sworn it was here in my waistcoat pocket.
Watson, while we're waiting for Mr. Wilson to find his missing newspaper advertisement, suppose you tell me what you deduce from his appearance.
Oh, well, now, let's see. Well, I would say that he was middle-aged, if you don't mind my saying so, Mr. Wilcox, Wilson, and he has red hair.
Obvious, Watson. Too obvious. I'll come to your assistance.
Oh, kind of?
He has at some time done manual labor. He is a Freemason, has been in China, and has done a considerable amount of writing lately.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, you fair give me the creeps. Are you one of these mind readers?
No, indeed.
Then how in the name of good fortune did you know all this about me? About the manual labor, for example. It's as true as gospel. I begin as a ship's carpenter.
Your hands, my dear sir. Your right hand is quite a size larger than your left. The muscles are more developed. As for the Freemasonry, you use an arc and compass breastpin, rather against the strict rules of your order.
See that? But the writing, how about that?
What else can be indicated by that right cuff, so very shiny, and the left sleeve with the smooth patch near the elbow where you rest it on the desk?
Well, how about China?
The fish that you have tattooed immediately above your right wrist could only have been done in China. That trick of staining the fish's scales a delicate pink is quite peculiar to China. And when, in addition, I see a Chinese coin hanging from your watch chain, the matter becomes even more simple.
Well, I never. At first I thought you'd done something clever. But now I see it was nothing to it after all.
I begin to think, Watson, that I make a mistake in explaining. Omne ignotum pro magnifico, you know.
Yes, just what I was thinking.
Yes, I'm afraid what reputation I may have will suffer shipwreck if I'm so candid. Have you found the advertisement, Mr. Wilson?
Oh, yes, I got it now. It was in my watch pocket. This is what began it all, sir. Just read it for yourself.
Watson, suppose you do that for us.
With pleasure.
First, make a note of the paper and the date.
It's the Morning Chronicle of July the 27th, 1890, just 2 months ago.
Very well. Proceed with the advertisement.
It begins, to the Red-Headed League. Owing to the bequest of the late Ezekiah Hopkins, there is now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services, All red-headed men above the age of 21 are eligible. Sounds very odd. Apply in person on Monday at 11 o'clock to Duncan Ross at the offices of the League, 7 Pope Court, Fleet Street. Dear me, Holmes, what on earth does this all mean?
I think I promised you that this case was bizarre. Now, Mr. Wilson, if you will continue with your story.
Well, it's just about as I was telling you, Mr. Holmes. I have a small pawnbroker shop in Coburg Square. Late years, business has been bad. I used to be able to keep 2 assistants, but now I only have 1. And I don't have a job to pay him, except he's willing to come for half wages, so as to learn the business.
Obliging youth. What's his name?
Vincent Spaulding. And I couldn't want a smarter assistant, Mr. Holmes. I know he could easily earn twice what I'm able to give him. Well, as I say, if he's satisfied, who am I to be putting ideas into his head?
Your assistant seems to be as remarkable as your advertisement.
Oh, he has only one fault, Mr. Holmes. Photography.
Photography?
Yes, snapping away with his camera and then diving down into the cellar like a rabbit into its hole to develop his pictures.
An amateur photographer, huh? He is, still with you, I suppose?
Oh, yes, sir. And an observant young fellow he is. He was the one who's brought this advertisement to my notice. It was just this day, 8 weeks, when he rapped on the office door with this very paper in his hand. Come in.
Oh, Mr. Wilson, sir.
Oh, it's you, Vincent. What's the matter?
Well, I wish to heaven, Mr. Wilson, that I was a red-headed man.
Why?
Well, look here, sir. What it says in this paper. There's another vacancy in the League of the Red-Headed Men. It's worth a pretty penny to him that gets it.
A red-headed league? Never heard of it.
Never heard of the League of the Red-Headed Men?
No.
Oh, Mr. Wilson, and you eligible for one of the vacancies.
Huh? What are they worth?
Oh, merely a couple of $100 a year, but the work's slight, and it needn't interfere much with one's regular occupation.
Couple of £100 a year, huh? Let me see that paper, young man.
Yes, here you are, sir. As far as I can make out, the League was started by a millionaire named Ezekiah Hopkins, a red-headed man himself. He left his fortune in hands of trustees with instructions to provide easy berths to men who had red hair. From what I hear, the work isn't difficult.
Oh, there must be millions of red-headed men.
Oh, not as many as you might think, sir. You see, it's confined to Londoners.
Oh.
And then again, it's no use if your hair is light red or dark red or anything but real blazing fire red. They've got to pick the reddest hair they can find.
Well, if there's a redder head of hair than mine in the length and breadth of London, I'd like to see it.
Well, I have seen a few that I considered redder.
Oh, nonsense. Well, where's Matt?
What are you going to do, Mr.
I'm
Wilson?
going around to apply for that vacancy. If it's raining gold, no one can say that Jabez Wilson is the man to go out with a sieve.
And did you get the job, Mr. Wilson?
I did that, Mr. Holmes. There wasn't a head of hair could touch mine for redness, if I do say so myself. And there was thousands competing.
And what was the work?
Oh, purely nominal, like the paper said. And it paid £4 a week, regular as a clock. All I had to do was sit at a desk in an office at that address there from 10 to 2 and copy out bits from the encyclopedia.
Educational as well as remunerative. And how long did this work continue?
About 8 weeks. I was pretty well through the A's. Abbots, archery, architecture, and the like. Then, suddenly, it come to an end. I went to my work 10 o'clock as usual. The door was shut and locked, and a card was nailed to the door.
What did it say?
Red-Headed League dissolved October 9, 1890.
Well, I say, Holmes, that's today.
Well, it was this very morning it was, sir. Well, I lost no time trying to find the man that hired me. £4 a week is £4.
You say you tried to find the man that rented the office?
Yes, sir. I inquired from the house agent, and he gave me the man's name and said he'd moved to a new address.
You went there, of course.
Yes, sir.
Well?
When I got to that address, it was a manufacturer of artificial kneecaps. No one had ever heard of the Red-Headed League.
So then you came straight to me?
Yes, sir. I thought it best to lose no time.
Quite right. By the by, Mr. Wilson, this assistant of yours, Mr. Vincent Spaulding, how long had he been with you when he called your attention to the Red-Headed League?
About a month.
How did he come?
In answer to an advertisement.
Was he the only applicant?
No, sir. I had a dozen.
Why did you pick him?
Because he was handy and would come cheap. At half wages, in fact.
What is he like?
Small, stout built, very quick in his ways. No hair on his face, though he's not short of 30. And he had a white splash of acid on his forehead.
I thought as much. Have you ever noticed that his ears are pierced for earrings?
Oh, yes. He says a gypsy did it for him when he was a lad.
Watson, what day of the week is it?
Saturday, of course.
Saturday, dear me, so it is. Well, Mr. Wilson, I think I may promise you some startling developments by tonight. In the meantime, Watson, I suggest we drop round sometime this afternoon to view the attractions of Saxe-Coburg Square, and Mr. Wilson's exemplary assistant in particular.
Certainly, my dear fellow.
Thank you, sir, thank you. I'll be expecting you. Goodbye, gentlemen.
And now, Watson, if you will hand me my violin, I have some thinking to do.
Can't you think without that? All right. There you are. Here we are, Holmes. This seems to be Saxe-Coburg Square.
Shabby, genteel little backwater of a place. And this, I fancy, is our friend's shop, the 4-story building with the 3 gilt balls over the door. Yes. Well, the square itself seems fairly uninteresting, huh?
Yeah, very depressing.
Let's see what street backs onto it on this side. Come along, Watson.
Well, I can't see what difference the next street can make to our problem. If it is a problem. The whole thing sounds more like a practical joke to me.
A practical joke which cost its perpetrator £4 a week? Nonsense, Watson. No man's sense of humor resides in his pocketbook.
Well, this street seems to have more life.
It's one of the chief arteries leading to the north and west. Let me see. What is the order of the houses here?
Order?
Yes, it's a hobby of mine to have an exact knowledge of London. First we have Mortimer's, then the tobacconist's, the little newspaper shop, the Coburg branch of the City and Suburban Bank, the vegetarian restaurant, and McFarlane's carriage building yard. Yes. Now we can go back to the shop of our friend, Mr. Wilson.
What's the hurry, Holmes? Don't walk so fast.
Well, I found out all I want to hear.
Well, Holmes, you behave as if you were taking a memory course. Why should you want to know all the shops on that street? Just a waste of time.
Nothing that exercises the brain is a waste of time, my dear Watson. The trouble with most of us is that our brains have become flabby from lack of proper use.
Rubbish. Well, here we are back again.
Quite.
Why are you tapping on the pavement with your stick? Huh? You want to enter the shop? Why not knock on the door?
Oh, quite so, Watson. I'm afraid my etiquette is a bit faulty lately. So, just to please you, I will knock on the door.
Somebody's coming. I can see him through the glass.
Looks like our bright little assistant.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Won't you step in?
Thank you, no. I only wish to ask you how to get from here to the Strand.
3rd right, 4th left.
Smart fellow, that. Eh, Watson?
I see no signs of a colossal intelligence.
Nevertheless, he is, in my judgment, the 4th smartest mind in London. And for daring, I'm not sure that he's not the 3rd.
I see nothing so startling about him.
The knees of his trousers, Watson. Didn't you notice?
The knees of his trousers? What about him?
Most enlightening, my dear Watson, most enlightening.
Oh, this is so much balderdash. I've had just about enough of it. I'm going to get myself some tea and a muffin. There's an appetizing little baker shop across the road there.
Very good, Watson. Suppose you meet me back here at 10 tonight. Sharp, mind you. And kindly put your army revolver in your pocket.
What?
This business is serious. More serious even than I expected.
In just a moment, we'll rejoin Sherlock Holmes as he endeavors to solve the strange case of the Red-Headed League. Leading hair specialists in this country constantly advise us to take better care of the hair we've got. And men, don't forget that if you want your hair handsome and healthy looking, one of the first requirements is a hygienic scalp. And why settle for just any hairdressing when you can enjoy the extra advantages of Kreml hair tonic? Kreml is a highly specialized hair tonic which gives you your money's worth. It contains a unique combination of hair grooming ingredients which is found in no other hair preparation. It keeps hair attractively groomed at all times, looking so neat and orderly. But Kreml does lots more than keep hair looking handsome. A Kreml massage stimulates circulation right in the surface of your scalp and leaves your scalp feeling so alive and invigorated. At the same time, Kreml removes dandruff flakes, and it's excellent to lubricate a dry scalp. And if your hair is so dry that it breaks off and falls when you comb it, Kreml actually helps condition the hair, in that it makes it feel softer and more pliable. So men, take better care of the hair you've got. Buy a bottle of Kreml at any drug counter. Ask for an application at your barber shop. Use Kreml daily for better groomed hair for a more hygienic scalp. Kreml, Kreml Hair Tonic. Now, Dr. Watson, you were going to meet Sherlock Holmes that night in Saxe-Coburg Square.
Yes, Mr. Bell. Our rendezvous took place right on the dot. I remember the hour was striking. I say, Holmes, it's 10 o'clock now. How long do we have to stand here in this confounded rain? I'm soaked to the skin.
Until the other member of our party turns up, Watson. Ah, here comes a cab. I think you'll be in it.
Whoa!
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Merriweather.
Good evening, Holmes. Yeah. I say, Holmes, why have you got to rout me out on a night like this? Saturday night, too. I shall miss my rubber of whist. It's the first Saturday night for 27 years that I've not had my whist.
My dear Merriweather, I think you'll find that tonight you're playing for higher stakes than even you are accustomed to. And I can promise the play will be more exciting.
Oh, indeed.
By the way, this is my friend, Dr. Watson.
How do you do?
How do you do?
But come, we must hurry. This way, gentlemen.
Where are we going? Wilson shop is here on the square.
Oh, stop burbling, Watson. Follow me and don't waste time.
Your message to me, Holmes, you said something about John Clay, the murderer, thief, smasher, and forger.
John Clay? Who's he?
My dear Watson, John Clay is one of our most colorful and dangerous criminals. A young man, but at the head of his profession. I'd rather have the bracelets on him than on any criminal in London.
I've heard that his grandfather was a royal duke, and he himself has been to Eton and Oxford.
He'll crack a crib in Scotland one week and be raising money to build an orphanage in Cornwall the next.
We've been after him for years, Holmes, and haven't set eyes on him yet.
Well, I trust I may have the pleasure of introducing you tonight. Here we are, down this narrow passageway. You'd better let me go first.
Look here, Holmes. I don't like the look of all this. This passage goes underground. Gives me the creeps. I say, just run into something.
The wall, I fancy. I forgot to warn you. There's a turn here to the right.
Yes, I found that out. Thanks very much.
Ah, here's the door. Just a moment till I light my dark lantern. There. Now, Mr. Merriweather, if you will unlock the door for us.
Just a moment till I find my key. Here we are.
Better let me go first, sir, in case we're too late. Ah, yes, the coast seems clear enough. Come along, both of you.
Holmes, as I said, I don't like the look of this place. Your lantern throws such weird shadows. Smells like a vault.
It is a vault, my dear Watson. The basement of the City and Suburban Bank, to be exact, of which our friend Mr. Merriweather here is managing director.
Well, what are all those wooden crates doing here?
They explain why the most daring criminal in London is taking such an interest in this particular place.
Yes, Dr. Watson. These crates contain our French gold.
French gold?
Quite. Well, you see, we had occasion some months ago to borrow 30,000 Napoleons from France.
From France? Good gracious,
most of which has never been unpacked.
Rather an inducement for any thief.
Oh, really, Holmes, I think you're rather unduly excited. The building is guarded by 10 burly watchmen.
Yes, I dare say you're not particularly vulnerable from above.
Nor from below, Holmes. Nothing but solid earth below these flagstones. Listen to this.
Don't do that. You want to ruin all our plans?
But look here, I say it did sound hollow, you know.
Not so loud, please. Now then, I think we'd better take up our positions. You, Merriweather, behind those large boxes in the corner. Watson and I will hide behind this crate. I hope you appreciate the honor, my dear fellow. This crate contains no less than 2,000 Napoleons neatly packed in tinfoil.
Good heavens.
Ready? We must put the screen over my dark lantern.
And sit here in the dark?
Certainly.
Oh, dear, and I brought along a pack of cards. I thought we might have time for a three-handed rubber.
Not tonight, Mr. Merriweather. We are dealing with a dangerous man, and unless we can take him at a disadvantage, he may do us considerable harm. One thing more. When I flash my light, close in swiftly. And if he reaches for a weapon, shoot, and shoot to kill.
Dear me, I wish I'd stayed at home.
Quite. I'm going to cover the light.
I say, Holmes, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm beginning to imagine all sorts of horrors, sitting here in the dark like this.
Really, Merriweather?
Holmes, do you hear that? Look. There in the middle of the floor, a slit of light. Somebody's raising one of the stone slabs. Look, there's a hand.
Catch his hand before he can pull himself through the opening.
Right you are.
Quick, Watson! Look out! He's got a knife! Take your hands off! No, you don't!
Oh, well done, Holmes. Well done. You've knocked him out.
Good. Drag him up here.
Right you are. There.
Now, Mr. Merriweather, if you'll give us some light. That's better.
But I say, Holmes, it's Vincent Spaulding, Wilson's assistant.
Spaulding rubbish. This is John Clay, one of the most dangerous criminals in London. I've been after him for years. Help me search him, Watson.
Look out, Holmes. Look out. He's coming too.
Take your filthy hands off me, you scarecrow!
No, none of that now.
You may not be aware that I have royal blood in my veins.
Oh, lunatic.
And when you address me, have the goodness to say sir and please.
Oh, very well. Would you please, sir, march yourself upstairs where we can hand you over to the policemen who are anxiously awaiting your highness's arrival? And be quick about it. Better have another spot of whiskey, Watson.
Oh, thank you. Joe, it feels good to get into dry clothes again after spending hours in that cold cellar. I say, not so much soda, Holmes. Do you want to drown it?
Oh, God bless you, my dear fellow.
Oh, thanks. I say, Holmes, when did you first begin to suspect that fellow Spaulding, I mean Clay?
When Mr. Wilson told me he was anxious to work for half price. Always suspect anyone or anything that comes too cheap. There's sure to be a motive behind
But
it.
how did you guess what the motive was in this case, I mean?
I suspected his fondness for photography and his trick of vanishing into the cellar. The cellar. There was the end of this tangled clue. And why was someone so anxious to have our friend Mr. Wilson kept out of his shop for several hours every day? Activities in the cellar again. By the way, that Red-Headed League hoax is one of the cleverest dodges I've come across for some time. Too clever, in fact. When I heard of it, I knew there was only one man who could have originated it, John Clay. We've had our skirmishes, but this is the first time we've come face to face.
Oh, so you went round to have a look at the shop?
At his trousers, Watson.
Trousers?
At the knees of his trousers, to be exact. You saw how worn and wrinkled they were? They spoke of hours of burrowing in the cellar. But what for? By tapping on the pavement, I found that the tunnel did not stretch out to the front. Where, then? We strolled round the corner, you remember? And there stood the City and Suburban Bank, abutting on our friend's pawn shop.
Yes, of course.
The inference was clear.
Yes, I see that, but how did you guess that he'd make his attempt tonight?
Perfectly simple, Watson. Perfectly simple. The offices of the Red-Headed League closed this morning. Mr. Wilson's absence was no longer necessary. The tunnel was completed, but it was essential that Mr. Clay should use it soon or it might be discovered. Tonight being Saturday would be ideal, as it would give him 2 days for escape. QED.
Holmes, your reasoning is perfect. A long chain, and yet every link rings true.
Well, it saves me from ennui. These little problems help me to escape the commonplaces of existence. Yes, after all, l'homme sait rien, l'œuvre sait tout, as Flaubert once wrote to George Sand.
Up next, the Speckled Band.
This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petri family, the family that took time to bring you good wine, invite you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us another exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective, Sherlock Holmes. And now let's look in on our genial friend and good host, Dr. Watson. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Bartell. Punctual to the minute, as usual.
Never keep a doctor waiting, I always say. Particularly Dr. Watson.
Draw up a chair, my boy.
Thank you.
That's it.
All ready to tell us the Sherlock Holmes adventure of the Speckled Band, Doctor?
Yes, I'm all ready, Mr. Bartell.
Say, Doctor, just what does a Speckled Band mean?
You wait until I've told you the story, young fellow, my lad. You'll find out for yourself.
Sorry. The floor is all yours, Doctor.
The adventure of the Speckled Band began on a rainy April morning in 1883. An urgent call from one of my patients had kept me up most of the night before, and in consequence, I came down to my breakfast rather later than usual to find that Holmes had already left our house some hours earlier. As I sat there reading the morning paper and consuming my 2 lightly boiled eggs, there was a knock at the door. It opened to disclose a typical example of the British working man, a bag of tools in one hand and a grimy cap in the other, as he spoke to me from the doorway.
You sent for me, Mr. Holmes?
I'm not Mr. Holmes.
Oh, beg your pardon, Governor. But I've come to mend the gas bracket over the mantelpiece.
Oh? What's wrong with it?
I've got a leak in it.
Oh, leak? Well, what's wrong with your work?
Yes, sir. Hope I won't be disturbing you, sir.
No, that's all right, my man. Don't mind me.
Oh, dear. Very untidy man, Mr. Holmes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you can't help noticing the mess this room's in. I've heard say he was as tidy as any when he started, but he learned bad habits from a bloke what lived with him. Dr. Watson, I think his name is.
You impertinent fellow. How dare you talk to me like that? I've got a good man. Oh, where does he go to? Here! You come out of there! That's Mr. Holmes's room.
Don't be angry with me, Watson. What? Slipping out of these grimy rags into a dressing gown.
Good gracious me. So was you, Holmes. Well, upon my soul, I'd never recognized you, but why the disguise?
A case, my dear Watson, a case. One of those small problems which a trusting public occasionally confides to my investigation. To the British workman, old chap, all doors are open. His costume is unostentatious and his habits are sociable. Tool bag is an excellent passport, and a tawny moustache will secure the cooperation of maids.
But what's the case, Holmes?
A modest little drama of life in the kitchen, one of those seemingly inconsequential affairs, and yet, Watson, the honor of a duchess is at stake.
Duchess?
A mad world, my masters, a mad world. Now I feel a little more comfortable. Let's return to the sitting room, shall we? A strong cup of tea would be most acceptable.
Oh, I wish you'd tell me about the Duchess and life in the kitchen, Holmes.
Some other time, old fellow, some other time. At the moment, suppose you tell me what you know about Miss Helen Stoner. I received a letter from her this morning in which she informed me that she would be calling here at 11, and also that she was a friend of yours.
Helen Stoner? Oh, yes. A charming girl indeed.
Pour me a cup of tea, Watson, and tell me about her.
Well, I befriended her at the time of the tragic death of her sister 2 years ago. I told you about the case, don't you remember? The sudden death of Violet Stoner at an old house in Stoke Moran.
Oh, yes. It all comes back to me now. There was an inquest, wasn't there, with a string of stupid, ineffective witnesses.
Huh? I was one of them.
Oh, I'm sorry, old fellow. Then you were the exception, of course. Wait a minute. Let me see. I docketed the evidence on the case. Where is it? My scrapbook. Here we are. Let me see. Yes, S. Salisbury, Hatchet, Murder, Lordson, Simon. Here we are. Stoke Moran. Yes, I remember the affair well now. The villain of the piece was Dr. Grimsby Roylott, wasn't he?
Yes, a dreadful fellow. He's the stepfather of the two girls. Violet, the one that died so mysteriously. Helen, the one who's coming here to see you.
Dr. Roylott has a pretty record. 55 years of age, killed his kit McGar in India, once in an insane asylum, married money, wife died. Distinguished surgeon. Well, Watson, I wonder what the distinguished surgeon has been up to now.
Oh, some deviltry, I fear.
Why do you say that?
You remember that Miss Violet Stoner's death followed close upon the announcement of her engagement?
Yes.
Well, I met Miss Helen Stoner on the streets a few weeks ago. She told me that she'd just become engaged to a young fellow in the army who was leaving for the Far East. She was very upset at the thought of being alone with her stepfather at Stoke Moran.
Oh, naturally it was. Dr. Roylott stands to lose a considerable sum of money in the event of his stepdaughter's marriage.
Yes, they both had a trust fund which he administered only as long as the girls were unmarried.
That fact was brought out at the coroner's inquest 2 years ago. But if Roylott did poison the other stepdaughter, and I'm pretty convinced that he did, it seems unlikely that he'd try it again. 2 sudden deaths in the same household could hardly pass the coroner.
Oh, no, my dear Watson. You're making the mistake of putting your normal brain into Roylott's abnormal being.
Oh, that must be Miss Stoner now.
Yes, let me see. It's precisely 11 o'clock. Well, let's see what we can do for her.
Well, I hope you can help her, Holmes. She's an extremely nice girl.
Come in. Yes, Mrs. Hudson?
There's a Miss Helen Stoner to see you, sir. She says she has an appointment.
Show her in, please, Mrs. Hudson.
Aye, sir. Come in, my dear.
Thank you.
Miss Stoner, I'm so glad to see you again.
How do you do, Dr. Watson? And this must be your friend.
Yes, Miss Stoner, I'm Sherlock Holmes. Sit down by the fire, won't you?
Yes, please do, my dear. Hello, you're trembling with cold.
It's not cold that makes me shiver. Tell me, Mr. Holmes, has my stepfather, Dr. Grimsby Roylott, been here?
No, he hasn't.
He saw me in the street. I dashed by him in a hansom cab, but he saw me. Our eyes met and he waved me to stop, but I came here as fast as I could.
Very sensible move. Dr. Watson has already given me several hints as to your present problem, as well as having refreshed my memory as to the circumstances of your sister's death.
My problem is a simple enough one, Mr. Holmes. I'm waiting to be murdered.
No, my dear
please
girl.
be a trifle more explicit, Miss Stoner.
Very well, Mr. Holmes. My fiancé is leaving for the Far East today. When he leaves, I shall be alone with my stepfather at Stoke Moran. He plans to murder me just as he murdered my sister.
What makes you say that, Miss Stoner?
Many strange things have happened recently. For instance, he's just moved me into the bedroom in which my sister died.
Well, what reason did he give for changing your room?
That my old one needed repainting. It didn't need it, but Dr. Roylott did need to move me into that horrible room. And other things have happened. I've heard the music again.
Music? What music?
My sister first heard it a few days before she died. I heard it myself on that dreadful night she breathed her last. Oh, Mr. Holmes, I'm terrified.
Don't worry, my dear. Please don't worry anymore. You have friends to help you now. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
No, of course not.
Now, this music. Does it seem to come from inside the house or outside?
Well, it's hard to say. It sounds so faint.
What's it like?
A sort of soft droning sound.
Like a flute or a pipe?
Yes, it reminds me of native music I heard during my childhood in India.
India, eh? Oh.
There's one other thing that puzzles me, Mr. Holmes.
Now, what's that?
My sister's dying words. As she lay in my arms, she gasped out 2 words.
Oh, what were they?
Band and speckled. You remember that evidence from the inquest, don't you, Dr. Watson?
Yes, I do. I couldn't make head or tail of it, so?
Band, speckled, Indian music. Miss Stoner, do you sleep with your door and windows fastened?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, but so did poor Violet. It didn't save her, though.
What did you gather from your sister's dying allusion to the band, the Speckled Band?
Well, sometimes I thought it was merely the wild talk of delirium, and sometimes that it referred to a band of people.
Oh, yes.
I remember that there were some gypsies encamped quite near us at the time of Violet's death.
Gypsies, eh?
Yes, and it occurred to me that the spotted, gaily colored kerchiefs, which so many of them wear over their heads, might have suggested the unusual adjective which my sister used.
Miss Stoner, how long is it since you heard this strange music that you've told us about?
I heard it last night.
And your fiancé leaves today, you say?
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
Well, Miss Stoner, I shall do everything I can to help you. If we were to come to Stoke Moran today, would it be possible to see over your rooms without the knowledge of your stepfather?
I think so. He told me this morning that he intended to take a late train home tonight.
Ah, that's splendid. Watson, out with the timetable, old fellow, and look up the trains to Stoke Moran.
Right you are, Holmes.
That's my stepfather. I know it is. Oh, yes. Yes, there he is on the doorstep. Oh, Mr. Holmes, he's followed me. Oh, what shall I do if he finds me here?
Don't worry, Miss Stoner. Please don't worry. There's a private exit through that room there. Watson, show her the way, will you?
Come along with me, my dear young lady.
And you will come down today, Mr. Holmes?
Certainly, my dear Miss Stoner. I'll telegraph you the time of our arrival. Goodbye and courage, my dear.
Goodbye, Mr. Holmes, and thank you.
Come along, Miss Stoner, quickly.
Come in. Yes, Mrs. Hudson?
It's a gentleman, sir. I told him you wouldn't see anyone without an appointment, but he...
Out of the way, woman!
Now push me like that. I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes.
That's all right, Mrs. Hudson. You can leave us.
What kind of gentleman does he call himself, pushing an old lady?
So you're Sherlock Holmes.
You have the advantage of me, sir. Your name is,
My name, sir, is Roylott. Dr. Grimsby Roylott of Stoke Moran.
Oh, yes, of course. A charming place, I hear, and obviously good for the lungs.
You won't trifle with me if you know what's good for you.
Watson, there you are. And how was the experiment?
Very successful, Holmes. Good day to you, Dr. Roylott. I haven't seen you since I gave evidence at your stepdaughter's inquest.
Yes, I remember you, Dr. Watson. Now listen to me, you two. My stepdaughter's been here. I faced her. What's she been saying to you?
A little cold for this time of the year, isn't it?
You answer me!
I hear that the crocuses promise well.
You dare to try and put me off, do you? I know you, you scoundrel. You're Holmes the meddler.
Am I?
Holmes the busybody.
I believe that a man should occupy his time.
Holmes the Scotland Yard Jack in office.
When you go out, close the door, won't you? There's a draft.
I'll go when I've had my say. Keep your nose out of my affairs, do you hear?
Oh, yes, my hearing is excellent, thank you, and your diction and delivery most forceful. But time flies, my dear doctor, time flies, and life has its duties as well as its pleasures. Goodbye.
Insolent rascal. Here, see this poker?
Oh, the fire doesn't need poking, thank you, doctor. But I should be obliged if you'd put some more coal on for me.
You laugh at me. You don't know my strength. Look. There. Your poker's bent double. And that's what I'll do to both of you. If you don't keep out of my affairs.
I had a presentiment that he'd slam the door.
Phew. He's an ugly customer, eh, Holmes?
Literally as well as figuratively. Watson, I'd be much obliged if you'd get your revolver. It may prove to be an excellent argument with a gentleman who twists iron pokers into knots.
The fellow's amazingly strong. Just look at it.
I don't want to appear flamboyant, but, there we are.
Great Scott, Holmes. You straightened the poker out again.
Yes, it was utterly useless in its former shape. And now what's on the timetable? We'll catch the next fast train to Stoke Moran.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, I'm so relieved that you've come. But don't you think my stepfather might have followed you down here?
To take that chance, Miss Stoner, a few hours' delay might mean the difference between our life and death. It was imperative that we examine this bedroom of yours before Dr. Roylott returns.
Anyway, my dear, you mustn't worry any more. We're here in your house, and we're going to take good care of you, no matter what harm befalls you.
Thank you, Dr. Watson.
So this is the room in which your sister died, is it? It's much as I pictured it.
And Dr. Roylott's room adjoins this one, you say, Miss Turner?
Yes, Doctor, on that side. The room which adjoins it on the other side is my regular bedroom.
The one that's being so conveniently painted, eh?
Yes.
Well, let's examine this room. No trapdoors or sliding panels, I suppose.
It sounds solid enough, Holmes.
Yes, I think it is. Hello, what's this? Are you aware that this bed is clamped to the floor, Miss Stoner?
Why, no, Mr. Holmes, I didn't know that.
What an extraordinary thing.
Was the bed in your other room anchored also?
No, I don't think it was.
Very illuminating. And this bell pull hanging against the wall above your bed.
Oh, that, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, but if you want to ring.
There's another one on the other wall over there.
Now, why this one?
Well, I don't know. My stepfather made a number of changes after we came here.
Yes, quite a burst of activity, apparently. And it took some strange shapes.
Why are you standing on the bed, Holmes?
I'm curious, my dear fellow. Aha. It may interest you to know that this bell rope is fastened to a brass hook. There's no wire attachment. It's a dummy.
A dummy? But why?
There's a small screen above it. It's a ventilator, I suppose.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
Yes. A ventilator leading into your stepfather's room. Curious. I notice there's no means of opening the ventilator on this side. It can only be operated from your stepfather's room next door. I wonder if you'd mind taking us in there.
Of course, Mr. Holmes. Follow me.
What do you make of it, Holmes?
There's devil's work afoot, old chap.
Here we are, Mr. Holmes.
It's much the same as the other room. A bit bigger, perhaps.
That large safe against the wall seems to be an unusual piece of bedroom furniture. What is it, Miss Stoner?
My stepfather's business papers.
Oh, yes.
You've seen inside it, then?
Only once, some years ago. I remember that it was full of documents.
What's this saucer of milk doing on top of it? Does Dr. Roylott keep a cat?
No, but he does have a cheetah and a baboon as pets. He brought them with him from India.
Well, Holmes, a cheetah is just a big cat.
True, but I doubt if a saucer of milk would go very far in satisfying the appetite of a cheetah. Well, I think I've seen enough. This matter is too serious for hesitation. Your life may depend upon your following of my instructions, Miss Homer.
I'll do anything you say, Mr. Holmes, anything.
Is that village inn I see through the trees from this window?
Yes, the Queen's Arms.
Your bedroom windows would be visible from there.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Very well, then. Watson and I will go there now and obtain accommodations. When your stepfather returns, you must confine yourself to your room on the pretense of a headache. You follow me?
Perfectly.
When Dr. Roylott returns for the night, you must open your bedroom window and put your lamp on the sill as a signal to us at the inn. Then withdraw quietly to your usual bedroom, the one that's being painted. I'm sure that you could manage there for one night.
Of course. But what will you do?
When we get your signal, Dr. Watson and I will come here and spend the night in your dead sister's room. We are going to solve this mystery of the dummy bell rope and the unusual ventilator and the strange music in the night.
Well, Doctor, it's a rattling good story so far. What happened next? You went to the local inn, I guess, and waited for that lantern to appear in the bedroom window at Dr. Roylott's house?
That's right, Mr. Bartell. We had an early dinner at the Queen's Arms and then retired to our upstairs bedroom and sat there side by side, puffing away at our pipes, our eyes straining through the darkness for that telltale lantern to give us the signal that there was dangerous work ahead for us. As we sat there discussing the various aspects of the case, I remember that Holmes was very concerned about my own safety.
Watson, I really have some scruples about taking you with me tonight. This is an infernally dangerous business.
What about that poor girl, alone in the house with that fiend Roylott?
I can handle the case by myself, old chap.
I'm coming with you, Holmes. You speak of danger. You haven't seen more in those rooms than was visible to me.
No, but possibly I've deduced a little more, and I imagine you saw all that I did.
Well, I saw nothing remarkable except the bell rope, and what purpose that could answer, I confess, is more than I can imagine.
You saw the ventilator, too.
Yes, but I don't think it's such an unusual thing to have an opening between two rooms. It's so small that a mouse could hardly pass through it.
True, but at least you will admit there was a curious sequence of coincidences. A ventilator is constructed. A bell cord is hung from it. A lady sleeps in a bed directly below the ventilator, a bed that is anchored to the floor. The lady dies.
Well, I begin to see what you're driving at, Holmes. Look. There's the lantern in Miss Toner's window.
It's our signal, all right. Come on, Watson. Our night's vigil begins.
What a foul night.
Foul night for foul business, Watson. Come on, through these laurel bushes. It's only another 50 yards to the house.
Yes, the lantern's still burning away in the bedroom window.
Yes, all the other lights are out.
Including the one in Dr. Roylott's room. He must have gone to sleep.
To bed, possibly, Watson, but not, I think, to sleep.
Great heavens, Holmes. Look at that frightful creature leaping about in the moonlight. It looks like some hideous child.
That's Dr. Roylott's pet baboon.
But it looks positively human.
Yes, probably a great deal more so than its master. Shh. They're directly below the window now. This ivy provides a most convenient ladder. I'll go up first.
Careful, Holmes, careful. Wait a minute. I hope the thing's strong enough to hold us both. We look pretty stupid on our backs in the mud. Get your hand with you, Holmes. I can't quite get my leg up over this window ledge. Oh, thanks, old boy. Oh, say, phew.
Now to close the window shutters.
This room looks exactly like the same as it did this afternoon.
The least sound would be fatal to our plans. Keep the lamp covered, so that if the ventilator is open from Dr. Roylott's room, no light will show from in there. That's it.
Why are you carrying that stick, Holmes?
I'm prepared for a visitor that I expect before the night is over. A visitor who will herald his entrance with faint music from an Indian pipe.
You mean the music is a signal?
Exactly, old fellow. The signal to an accomplice who can enter a room with locked doors, an accomplice who kills and leaves no trace.
You mean that...
Shh, no more talking, Watson. I'll sit on the edge of the bed here. You sit on that chair. Have your revolver ready in case you should need it.
Right you are.
Have the lantern ready, too. When I shout now, turn the light full on the top of the bell rope. You understand?
Yes, perfectly.
Good. Now we must wait. Perhaps for some time. But don't go to sleep, Watson. Don't go to sleep. Your very life may depend on it.
talking, are you?
No, Holmes.
I smell tobacco smoke.
Must be drifting through the ventilator.
Exactly. Dr. Roylott is up.
Look. There's a tiny shot of light showing up in the ventilator.
Shh.
Listen. There's the music.
Yes. Heralding the messenger of death. Have your lantern ready, Watson.
Now, Watson, now! Great heavens, it's a snake slithing down the bell rope. You can't get it with that stick, Holmes. Out of the way. Let me get a shot at it.
I'm going to drive it back the way it came. Get out.
There it goes. Back through the ventilator. Oh. What a fiendish plan. Scott, what's that?
I think the devil has turned on its master. Come on, Watson, into Dr. Roylott's room.
Dr. Roylott! Dr. Roylott! Doctor!
Good Lord, Holmes. Look at him sprawled on the bed. Look at his eyes.
Yes. And see what is coiled around his forehead.
It's the snake.
Yes, the band. The Speckled Band.
He's dead, Holmes.
Yes, he's been bitten by the deadliest snake in the world, the Indian swamp adder. His deadly fangs produce death within 10 seconds. Well, Watson, violence does in truth recoil upon the violent, and the schemer falls into the pit which he digs for another.
What should we do now, Holmes?
We must remove the macabre headgear from the dead doctor and return the snake to its den. Then I suggest that we tell Miss Stoner that there's no more danger under this roof. After that, we can turn the matter over to the local police. Our work is done.
Holmes, Dr. Watson, I can't tell you how grateful I am that you brought me back into Baker Street.
Stoner, it would have been inhuman to leave you in that house of horror and death. We have a spare bedroom, and Mrs. Hudson is a motherly and understanding woman, and I can assure you that Dr. Watson and I will be delighted to have you stay with us here until you've decided on your future plans.
Yes, of course we will, my dear. As a matter of fact, it'd be rather refreshing to have a touch of youth about the place.
You're both so kind. Mr. Holmes, I think it's wonderful how you foiled my stepfather's devilish plans.
Yes, wasn't it a remarkable example of logical deduction?
No, it wasn't, old fellow. At first, your mention of the gypsies, Miss Stoner, and the use of the word band put me on an entirely wrong scent. However, when we examined the fatal room, I drew the obvious conclusion.
You mean the dummy bell rope, the ventilator, and the immovable bed?
Yes, old fellow. It instantly gave rise to the suspicion that the rope was there as a bridge for something coming through the ventilator and traveling to the bed. I once thought of a snake. When I saw the saucer of milk on top of the safe, my suspicions crystallized into certainties.
Oh, it was a fiendish plot.
Yes, an extremely clever one, too.
Exactly.
My stepfather must have trained the snake to return to him when he played the music.
Yes, he put it through the ventilator with the certainty that it would crawl down the rope and land on the bed. It might or might not bite the occupant. Perhaps she might escape every night for a week, but sooner or later she must fall a victim.
Thank heaven I came to you, Mr. Holmes.
Amen to that, Miss Stoner.
Holmes, if you hadn't lashed at the snake with your stick, I bet it wouldn't have turned back on its master.
True, old chap. In that way, I am no doubt indirectly responsible for Dr. Grimsby Roylott's death. But I can't say it's a fact that's likely to weigh too heavily on my conscience.
Up next, the Devil's Foot.
Now, Dr. Watson, how about the Devil's Foot or the Cornish Horror?
It was the spring of the year 1897. Holmes's iron constitution had shown some signs of giving way due to a particularly arduous and nerve-wracking winter. In March of that year, Dr. Moore Agar of Harley Street gave positive injunctions that Holmes get out into the country for a protracted rest. Well, the third week in March found us settled in a small cottage near Poldhu Bay at the further extremity of the Cornish Peninsula.
Isn't that rather a bleak country for convalescent, Dr. Watson?
Bleak is putting it mildly. I've never known such grim surroundings, but it suited Holmes admirably. He seemed to blossom in that weird and foreboding fog-swept district.
Just his natural perverseness, I suppose.
Oh, I dare say. Our little whitewashed cottage stood on a grassy headland. From its windows we looked down upon the whole sinister semicircle of Mounts Bay, that old death trap, with its fringe of black cliffs and surge-swept reefs. In every direction there were traces of some vanished race which had left as its sole record strange monuments of stone. Holmes spent most of his time pottering round these weird ruins,
Everything was going along peacefully until one morning our simple and healthy routine was violently interrupted. We were precipitated into the middle of a series of gruesome and nerve-shattering events.
Quite a surf this morning, eh, Watson? You can see the spray flung up against our windows, and we're a good 100 feet above sea level. I don't think I shall venture out today. Bad weather. Old boy is certainly lashing himself into a fine frenzy.
What do you mean, the old boy, Holmes?
The devil, Watson. The devil himself.
What are you raving about?
Didn't I tell you that the natives hereabouts refer to that seething death trap down there as the Devil's Cauldron? They think the old gentleman himself lives there.
How unsettling.
Yes, a very interesting superstition. You know, Watson, this locality is supposed to have been the last resort of devil worship in England.
Oh, really?
Many scientists believe that those huge prehistoric monuments of stone were part of a temple given over to the Prince of Darkness.
Preposterous.
Oh, I don't know. It's as logical as most of the theories that endeavor to explain their existence. The superstition goes on to say that when the devil was finally driven from his temple, he took refuge in the bay down there. Yes, they claim that on stormy nights you can hear his hoofbeats as he races up and down the rocks.
Holmes, what are you trying to do? Give me a case of nerves?
Hello, what's this? What's this? Someone is running up our path, his cloak flapping about like a giant bat.
Why, it's that Tregennis fellow, the one who boards with the vicar.
Mortimer Tregennis, eh? I wonder what's happened. Face as white as a sheet. Couldn't look more upset if he'd seen Beelzebub himself. Open the door, Watson.
Mr. Holmes, thank heaven I find you at home. The most terrible thing has happened. I can scarcely believe it.
Oh, sit down, my dear fellow, sit down. That's better. Now, perhaps you can tell us what has happened.
My family, my sister, we were playing cards.
Oh, slowly now, take your time.
My family, my sister and my two brothers. It's too terrible. Why, just last night I was with them at the house. Tridanic warfare, it's called. All well and happy. We played cards, and now, without warning, I can't believe...
Easy, Tregennis, easy. There's a good fellow.
I left them last night. My sister Brenda, my two brothers, Owen and George.
What time was that?
The clock in the church steeple over at Polo was chiming 10 o'clock as I closed the front door behind me. I'd left them all in the card room, laughing and in good spirits.
And?
This morning, being an early riser, I was out taking a walk before breakfast when Dr. Richards overtook me in his carriage with the news that he'd been sent for and a most urgent call from Tridanic warfare. Something terrible had happened to my family. I jumped in beside him and he whipped up the horses.
And what did you find?
Oh, Mr. Holmes, it was terrible, ghastly. My two brothers and my sister, there in the card room just as I had left them. But what a change. What a ghastly change.
Yes?
Brenda lay back stone dead in her chair. And my two brothers sat on each side of her, laughing and shouting and singing. The senses stricken clean out of them. And all three of them, my poor dead sister and my two demented brothers, retained upon their faces an expression of ghastly horror, a convulsion of terror.
How terrible.
Yes. Dr. Richard was so overcome at the sight that he fell fainting into a chair.
Anyone else in the house besides your sister and brothers?
Only Mrs. Porter, the old housekeeper.
I presume it was she who found them this morning.
Yes. She always goes through the house in the mornings, airing it out before the family comes down. When she reached the card room, the shock was too much for her. She's had a nervous collapse. We had to put her to bed.
No wonder.
An exceptional case. Most exceptional.
That's what we thought. We could find no traces of strangers in or around the house. Nothing was stolen, nothing touched. The vicar believes you are the only one who can solve the case, Mr. Holmes. He insisted I come to you.
I shall be only too glad to handle the matter, of course. But first I must ask you a few questions.
Anything, Mr. Holmes, anything.
To begin with, Mr. Tregennis, why do you live with a vicar, separated from your family?
Well, as a matter of fact, we had a slight argument a few years ago about some property it was. But that was all settled long ago. We were on the best of terms.
Now, Mr. Tregennis, about last night. Do you recall anything at all that was out of the ordinary?
There was one thing that occurs to me. As we sat at the card table, my back was to the window. George was facing me. Suddenly I saw him look hard over my shoulder out of the window. I turned quickly, and just for a moment I thought I caught a glimpse of something moving.
Man or animal?
I don't quite know. My brother said he had the same feeling. It's uncanny, that's what it is. Something came into that room, and that something killed my sister and dashed the light of reason from my brother's mind. Something devilish it was.
If that should prove to be the case, I fear I shall be of very little assistance, Mr. Tregennis. But short of wrestling with His Satanic Majesty, I think perhaps we can solve your problem. Come, Watson. We'd best go down to Tredanic Water at once.
This is the house, Mr. Holmes.
Whose carriage is this coming down the drive with the blinds down?
There's somebody in it. Listen.
My brothers. My poor brothers. It's Dr. Richard's carriage. He's taking them to Helston Asylum. It's too awful. My poor brother.
Easy, Tregennis, easy. Pull yourself together.
I'll do my best.
Good man.
Which are the windows of the card room?
This one here.
Oh, look out, Holmes. You've upset the watering can.
Dear, how clumsy of me. Sorry, Tregennis. I'm afraid I've drenched your boots.
No matter, Mr. Holmes, no matter. Shall we go in?
Yes. I have seen all I need to see out here.
This way. The card room is over here.
Do you notice anything, Watson?
No, I can't say that I do.
This is the card room.
I see the window's still open. The housekeeper left it that way, I presume?
Yes, she says it was locked on the inside when she came in.
Quite so. I think we may close it now.
Well, I'll do it, Holmes.
No, let me. Candles quite gutted out. Yes, cards still on the table. They have not risen from their chairs, I take it, and you left at 10. That sets the hour of death at some time before 11. Fire burned out. Why a fire? Had they always a fire in this small room on a spring evening?
It was cold and damp last night, Mr. Holmes. The fire was lit shortly after my arrival.
I see. Well, that seems to be about all. No disturbance of any kind. Strange.
Oh, come along, Holmes, come along. The room gives me the jumps. There's something about the atmosphere, as though death was still hovering in the air.
I wonder. Come, Watson. We will return to our cottage. Should anything occur to me, Mr. Tregennis, I shall communicate with you. It won't do, Watson. It won't do. All the facts are negative.
Well, do you think Mr. Tregennis' account of his actions last night was truthful?
Quite, Watson. Quite. You remember the incident of the spilt watering can? I did that to obtain an impression of his foot.
I take it you succeeded?
I did. With that print as a sample, I was able to trace his movements last night. His story is correct. He left the house at about 10, went straight back to the vicarage and did not return. Nor did anyone else enter or leave that house.
Then it must have been the man or animal they thought they saw in the bushes. He must have returned and frightened them to death.
There was no such man or animal, Watson. Last night was a dark night. Anyone who had the wish to frighten these people would be compelled to put his face against the glass before he could be seen.
Well?
There is a 3-foot flower border outside the cardroom window. But there are absolutely no footprints there.
Yes, but that
means Mr. Tregennis' sister and her 2 brothers were alone when death struck the sister down and drove the brothers insane.
But Holmes, that would be supernatural.
I hope not, Watson.
Look, here comes another visitor up our path. Stranger this time. Big, savage-looking fella.
That, my dear Watson, is none other than the famous Dr. Leon Sterndale.
Sterndale, the lion hunter and explorer?
Exactly.
Oh, what's he doing in this neighborhood?
Oh, I've heard he owns a little cottage about 5 miles down the coast. They tell me he lives there absolutely by himself when he isn't off on one of his expeditions. Never mind, Watson. I'll do the honors myself. Come in, Dr. Sterndale, come in.
Mr. Holmes?
Yes, and this is my friend, Dr. Watson.
How do you do?
How do you do? Mr. Holmes, I've come to you about the tragedy at Tredanic Water. The police are utterly at a loss. You have a keener brain.
Pardon me, Dr. Sterndale, but why are you so concerned in this affair?
Well, you see, during my many residences in this locality, I've come to know the family of Tregennis very well.
I see.
Their horrible fate has been a great shock to me, Mr. Holmes.
I'm so sorry.
As a matter of fact, I was on my way to Africa. I got as far as Plymouth when the news reached me this morning. I came straight back to help in the inquiry.
But that would make you lose your ship. One sailed for Africa this afternoon, if I'm not mistaken.
I can take the next.
When did you last see the Tregennis family, Dr. Sterndale?
I saw Brenda, Miss Tregennis, 3 days ago, just as I was leaving for Plymouth.
Oh. So you have been in Plymouth for the last 3 days?
Yes, in Plymouth.
But how did you get the news so quickly? Surely the Plymouth papers didn't carry an account of the matter in this morning's edition?
I received a telegram.
Telegram? Might I ask from whom?
You're very inquisitive, Mr. Holmes.
It is my business, Dr. Sterndale.
Very well. The telegram was sent by the vicar, Mr. Roundcase.
I see.
And now, Mr. Holmes, have you reached any conclusions?
Conclusions? No. That would be a trifle premature. But I have every hope of bringing this matter to a satisfactory termination. Satisfactory to me, that is.
Would you mind telling me if your suspicions point in any particular direction?
I do not feel that this is the moment to answer that question, Dr. Sterndale.
Oh, and I see that I've been wasting my time. I need not prolong this visit. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Close-mouthed fellow, Dr. Sterndale, isn't he, Holmes?
He told me more than he realized, Watson. But he knows even more.
How could he if he was in Plymouth?
But was he, Watson? That statement is something for us to look into.
In just a moment, we'll rejoin Sherlock Holmes as he endeavors to solve the strange mystery of Titanic water. But first, men, remember, if you want to keep your hair handsome and healthy looking, one of the first requisites is a hygienic scalp. So why settle for just any hairdressing when you can enjoy the extra advantages of a highly specialized hair tonic like Kreml? Kreml contains a special combination of hair grooming ingredients which is found in no other hair tonic. This is why it keeps unruly hair neatly in place longer with a rich, healthy-looking luster. Yet Kreml never gives hair that cheap, greasy patent leather look. It never leaves hair feeling sticky, gummy, or dirty. Your hair and scalp always look and feel so clean with Kreml. And if your hair is so dry it breaks and falls when you comb it, start using Kreml at once. Let it make your hair feel softer, more pliable, and look as if it had some body to it. Kreml is also fine to lubricate a dry scalp. At the same time, it removes dandruff flakes. A quick massage with Kreml helps stimulate the cutaneous circulation of the scalp. Notice how alive, how invigorated your scalp feels. So for better groomed hair, a more hygienic scalp, change to Kreml at once. Buy a bottle of Kreml at any drug counter. Ask for an application at your barber shop. Kreml, Kreml Hair Tonic.
I say, Holmes, must you go on smoking that foul pipe? The atmosphere's so thick I can hardly see across the room as it is. Oh, dear, I feel depressed. Who knows what evil thing is stalking abroad in this neighborhood?
Light the lamp, Watson. It's the gathering twilight that makes it gloomy.
Rubbish. Look here, Holmes, what about that Dr. Sterndale? Do you think he did it?
No, Watson. I've been in communication with his Plymouth hotel. His story was correct. He had been there for the past 3 days, and he did receive a telegram from the vicar this morning.
Oh, and he couldn't possibly have had anything to do with the Tregennis tragedy last night.
Quite. I didn't think he had a connection with the tragedy. But there is a connection with... Now what?
Mr. Holmes! Oh, Mr. Holmes!
Open the door, Watson. Ah, my dear vicar, come in, come in. Dear me, you look as though you'd seen a ghost.
It's tracked him down. The curse of the family. He's dead. Dead with that same look of terror on his face.
Who's dead?
Mortimer Tregennis. In his study at the vicarage.
Great Scott.
My servant found him there, sitting beside his table, his face turned toward the window, and distorted with that same convulsion of fear that marked the features of his sister. Oh, my poor parish. Satan himself is loose among us. We are devil-ridden, Mr. Holmes. Devil-ridden. This was his study, Mr. Holmes.
Depressing atmosphere.
It was worse. I had the servant open the window. He's quite ill from shock, poor fellow.
What a terrible look on Tregennis's face, Holmes.
The whole body is contorted and convulsed in a very paroxysm of fear. You've never seen death in this form before, Watson?
No, never.
You know of no poison that would have this effect?
Good heavens, no.
The lamp is lit. It's burning over an hour. Notes the oil consumed. Yet darkness has just set in. Did anyone call at the vicarage this afternoon?
No. I was out myself, but my servant says he let no one in.
Then Tregennis was alone when he...
I wonder. The window was shut at the time of his death, but the lamp was lit. Curious. The window. Let's see. The window. Yes, by Jove, I think I found something.
What's that you're putting in your pocket, Holmes?
And the lamp. Of course, the lamp. Notice this powder which has been spilled on the base of the lamp? Red-brown powder. Give me an envelope, Watson. I must have these specks of powder.
Why are you so excited about the powder, Holmes?
Because it contains the solution of our mystery, Watson. It is the source and the solution.
Holmes, you haven't touched your supper. What a foul night. The wind's rising again.
Oh, have another cup of tea and be quiet.
I don't want to be quiet. I want to talk. I'm tired of waiting here listening to that blasted wind and the roar of the water down there below. Why did you send for Dr. Sterndale?
Because he is an authority on obscure African poisons.
Poisons? Why are you interested in poisons?
Watson, there are two striking points in common in both cases under observation.
Yes?
In both cases, the atmosphere of the room had a curious effect on the persons who first entered it. The housekeeper and the vicar's servant were both overcome, as was the doctor who was called in.
That's right, I hadn't thought of that. The room was still stuffy when we entered it.
Right. And in each case, there was combustion going on in the room. The fire in the first case, the lamp in the second, and the lamp was not necessary. It was still daylight when it was lit.
Yes, but I still don't see what...
Something was burned in each case which produced an atmosphere causing strange toxic effects. An unknown poison.
Good heavens.
I believe we have a sample of that poison in the brown powder spilled on the base of the lamp.
Well, how are you going to prove it?
I'm going to burn some of that powder. Notice its effect. Just a small pinch of powder. Yes. Perhaps you'd better leave the room, Watson.
Leave you alone in here? Certainly not.
I warn you, it's risky.
Confound that wind. Come along, let's get it on with it and get it over.
Very well. Place your chair opposite mine. Then we can watch each other for developments. If anything alarming happens, we can end the experiment.
All right. Come on. I'm ready.
Good. I put a pinch of the powder into our lamp.
Oh, I say, what a filthy smell.
Musky, subtle, nauseous.
Listen to the wind, Holmes. I'm afraid. I don't know why. That wind. I can feel my hair rising. Holmes, do you see it? That cloud bank, whirling, black and sinister. It's monstrous. It's concealing something too wicked to imagine. Holmes, it's coming nearer and nearer. Can't you smell it? Sulfur and brimstone. You hear that, Holmes? It's hoofbeats. Hoofbeats. I know what it is. I can see it. I can't stand this. It's too terrible. Holmes!
Watson, for the love of heaven, don't give in. Don't breathe. I'll smash the window. I'll smash... There. That's better. Breathe in, Watson. Breathe it in. It's good, clean air. Whew. By Jove, what a narrow escape. I had no idea it was so powerful.
I thought I saw...
I know. It's a poison that affects the nerve centers of the imagination. The strain is enough to kill a man or drive him crazy. Hello, there's someone knocking at the door.
So that's what I heard.
Air seems cleared out. Good thing there was a high wind. I'll close the shutters and draw the curtains. Watson, can you open the door now?
Yes, I think so. Phew, my knees are still shaking.
Good evening, Mr. Holmes. You sent for me? Yes. Come in, Dr. Sterndale. Come in.
You look rather pale, both of you.
Yes. We've just been conducting a little experiment with the poison that killed Tregennis.
You?
Yes, Dr. Sterndale. Perhaps you'd like to tell us why you killed Mortimer Tregennis.
I? Preposterous. You can't prove it.
No. Let me tell you how you did it. You came over to the vicarage late this afternoon. You didn't want anyone to know you'd visited Tregennis. He was to let you in himself. But how could you attract his attention? You brought some pebbles with you, pink pebbles from a heap beside your house. You threw these at the study window, where you knew Tregennis was working. I found some of these pebbles on the windowsill. Tregennis came downstairs, let you in himself. You had a talk with him, made him light his lamp, placed a pinch of the poison powder in the flame, and left.
You're right, Mr. Holmes. I did kill Mortimer Tregennis. But I'm not guilty of the other atrocity. I swear I'm not.
I believe you, Dr. Sterndale. But you know who did it. Perhaps you'd better tell us about it.
Very well. It was Mortimer Tregennis.
What?
He admitted it before he died. Mr. Holmes, I've been in love with Brenda Tregennis for many years. We were to have been married when my work in Africa was finished. I've lived so long in places where man is a law unto himself. He killed Brenda in cold blood. He killed her. I have nothing else to live for. By heaven, I'd do it again.
How did Mortimer Tregennis get hold of the poison? It was something unusual, almost unknown.
Yes, it was powdered pes diable.
Pes diable? Devil's foot, eh?
Yes, a root found in Africa. Shaped like a foot, half human, half goat-like. I have the only specimen in England.
And you showed it to Tregennis?
Yes, he came over the other afternoon when I was packing. He was interested in my African curiosities, particularly this powder. How he took it, I can't say. I thought no more of the matter until I had received the vicar's telegram and learned how they died. I returned at once. Looking into the tragedy, I was convinced Mortimer Tregennis was the murderer, that he'd done it to gain control of the family fortune. There was the crime, but what was to be his punishment? What jury would believe such a fantastic story? No, I decided to take the law into my own hands. Perhaps if you ever loved anyone, you'll know how I felt.
Dr. Sterndale, what were your plans when you set out for Plymouth?
I had intended to bury myself in Central Africa. My work is only half finished.
Go and finish the other half, Dr. Sterndale. I do not feel called upon to prevent you.
And last but not the least, the empty house.
Tonight's story, The Adventure of the Empty House. Well, here we are as usual in Dr. Watson's hospitable study, all ready and waiting for our weekly treat. What's it to be tonight, Dr. Watson?
Well, tonight I think I'll tell you how Holmes made an unexpected and, I may say, dramatic return after many years' absence. You know, I've always said it's a good thing to absent yourself from time to time. Makes people appreciate you when you come back. That's what Holmes said the time he was missing for 3 years.
3 years? That's a pretty long lapse of time.
Yes, it was rather. Everyone thought he was dead. What a horrible time that was. I couldn't bear to live in our old lodgings in Baker Street. Associations and everything.
Yes.
It's funny how sentimental we all are underneath. I'd taken up my quarters in a more fashionable part of town and resumed my medical practice. It was after Holmes had succeeded in driving Professor Moriarty out of England. We all believed Holmes had sacrificed his life to rid society of that evil spirit.
That sounds terrifically exciting, Doctor. Won't you tell us how Holmes managed to put a finish to Moriarty?
What? Kill off Professor Moriarty before I've told you the rest of our adventures with him? Well, I should say not. Never catch me throwing away good material, but let's get down to cases.
Fair enough.
Very well. It was in the spring of the year 1894, when all of London, the fashionable world in particular, was dismayed by the death under most unusual circumstances of the Honourable Ronald Adair. That likeable young gentleman was the second son of the Earl of Maynooth. He lived, together with his mother, the Countess of Maynooth, and his sister Hilda, at 427 Park Lane. The youth moved in the best society, but was very fond of cards, played continually.
Aha, piling up gambling debts he couldn't pay.
Well, as a matter of fact, it came out in evidence that he had actually won as much as £420 in one sitting at his club the week previous. From Godfrey Miller and Lord Balmoral, I believe it was. His partner was a certain Colonel Moran.
But then he must have been well ahead of the game.
Oh, quite. And yet it was to this easygoing, likeable, I might even say lucky young aristocrat that death came in a most strange and unexpected form on the night of the March the 30th. He returned from his club shortly after 10, his mother and sister having gone to the opera. The butler, Peter, swore that he heard him enter the front room on the second floor, generally used as his sitting room. The night being chilly, he had lit a fire, and as it showed a tendency to smoke, one of the front windows had been opened about 4 inches. Nothing further was heard from this sitting room until 11:30, the hour of the return of Lady Maynooth and her daughter. Peters testified that her ladyship seemed rather agitated.
Gracious, Hilda. I declare I'm chilled to the bone.
I'm sorry, Mama.
Oh, Peters, will you help me with my carriage boots?
Certainly, milady. You returned so early. I trust the opera was not a disappointment.
Oh, no, indeed, Peters. It was heavenly. Only Mama can never bear to stay for the death scenes at the end.
So depressing, I always think.
Well, Mama, I've always thought Carmen was terribly gay. Just because he knifes in the last scene doesn't...
No, I know. But so primitive, so brutal. And that bit in the gypsy camp, where Carmen keeps turning up the ace of spades, the card of death. I had the queerest foreboding during that scene, as though Ronnie needed me. Oh, dear, I do wish he wouldn't play whist so often. It's good for him. A boy his age should have other interests. I wish I could get that ace of spades out of my mind. I can't help feeling it means something.
Oh, nonsense, Mama. You've just given yourself another case of the fidgets. The English climate that's depressing you, that's all. One day of sunshine and you'll be as gay as a lark.
I'm sure I hope so. Oh, dear, listen to that wind. Fog and rain, rain and fog. Peters, has Mr. Ronald come in yet?
Yes, milady. Over an hour ago. He's upstairs in his sitting room.
Well, thank heaven for that. I think I'll just go up and say good night to him.
That's right, Mama. Make sure he isn't sitting in a draught.
Hilda, really? I declare I don't know what children are coming to nowadays. No respect for their parents.
Good night, darling.
And you're not to sit up till all hours, mind.
No, Mama.
Really, I don't know how young girls nowadays expect to keep their looks if they never go to bed. Oh, dear, that wind, it's so eerie. Ronnie? Ronnie, dear, it's Mother. Why, it's locked. The door's locked. Ronnie, are you all right? Ronnie!
What's the matter?
Ronnie, he's locked himself in. He doesn't answer. Peters, Hilda. Oh, come quickly, I'm afraid.
Okay, Mother.
Oh, Ronnie. Ronnie, why don't you answer?
Now, don't worry, milady.
It's all right, Mother. He's probably fallen asleep.
Ronnie. Oh, Hilda, I'm frightened. Peters, can't you break the door down?
I can try, milady.
Here, let me help. Now then, both together.
There he is, milady. Fallen asleep at the desk.
But he looked so strange. Cards scattered everywhere, and look there. The ace of spades. There's blood on it. Blood dripping onto the carpet. Ronnie! Oh!
Peters, quick, help me. She's fainted.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Here, put her on the couch.
No, poor Lady Maynooth.
Oh, dear, Mother.
Shall I call the doctor, miss?
Oh, never mind, Mother. It's Ronnie we have to worry about. Maybe it's not too late. Oh, Ronnie. Oh, his head. How horrible.
Shot with a soft bullet. Better not look, miss. It's not nice.
Oh, Ronnie, darling, why did you do it?
He didn't, miss.
Oh, but Peters, he must have. The door was locked on the inside.
It's not suicide, Miss Hilda. It's murder. Mr. Ronnie couldn't have done it. There's no weapon anywhere in the room.
But look here, Dr. Watson. Ronald Adair was in the second-story sitting room with the door locked on the inside.
Exactly, Mr. Harris. Furthermore, he was in the room alone.
Yes, but if someone else shot him, how is that possible?
That's what puzzled the authorities. No one could have climbed up to the open window without leaving traces of some sort. The outside wall was perfectly smooth, no ivy, no water pipes. Furthermore, there was a drop of over 20 feet from the window to the ground.
Well, then the murderer couldn't have been in the room with young Adair. He must have shot at him from the street below.
Remember, the window was open only 4 inches, and the glass was not shattered.
That would be a pretty remarkable shot, Doctor.
Furthermore, Park Lane is not an unfrequented thoroughfare, and there is a cab stand within 50 yards of the house, and yet no one heard a shot.
Nice little problem.
Yes, exactly. Scotland Yard was at its wits' end. Our old friend, Inspector Lestrade, even went so far as to consult me in the matter, knowing how familiar I was with Holmes' methods of deduction. And so I promised to have a look at the facade of Lady Maynooth's house in Park Lane to see if anything suggested itself to me.
And did it?
Now, Mr. Harris, you're anticipating again.
I'm sorry.
Well, so it was. But around 6 o'clock that evening, I found myself at the Oxford Street end of Park Lane. A heterogeneous collection of loafers on the pavement, all staring up at a particular window, directed me to the house I had come to see. Good evening, Constable.
Good evening, Dr. Watson, sir. I was told you might be dropping around for a look at the scene of crime.
Yes, nice little crowd you've collected here.
Yes, sir. Nothing like a good murder to bring him out of their house. And look at that old codger up there with the white whiskers. Pushed his way up to the front. He ain't been out of doors for months. Looks fair dusty, he does.
Oh, in the bibliophile.
The what, sir?
Book lover. Notice the titles of the volumes under his arm. Say, let's have a look. Origin of Tree Worship, Sign Language of the Druids, Life in Early Crete. Evidently collects obscure volumes, either as a trade or a hobby.
Well, I never would have noticed. I'll hand it to you, Dr. Watson. You're almost as good with your deductions as Mr. Sherlock Holmes himself.
Elementary, my dear Constable, elementary. Poor old fellow. He's got a bad cough. Lung condition, probably. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything much to discover. No possible way of scaling the front of the building from below. How about the roof? Could he have come across from another building?
No, sir. Inspector Lestrade looked into that first thing. Roof's all divided off with iron bars. Spikes on them. About as easy to break into as the Bank of England.
Well, may as well be getting on home. Yes, I dare say even Holmes couldn't solve this.
Here's look where you're going, you clumsy fool.
Oh, I say, I'm terribly sorry. I hope you're not hurt.
Who cares about me? It's my books that matter. Struck them right out of my hand. There they are, lying all over the road. Mud on their covers.
Oh, please, let me pick them up.
No, you don't. Don't you touch them. You've done enough damage already. Mercy on us. Such a mess. Nobody appreciates good books nowadays.
Well, at least let me apologize.
Go away, don't bother me. Can't you see I'm busy? Go home, can't you? You're no use standing around here.
Well, maybe he's right. Good night, Constable.
Good night, Doctor.
Lestrade knows where to find me in case he wants me. While I was out, Rosie?
No, sir.
Oh, good. Maybe my luck is in tonight. It's about time I had a peaceful evening at home. Oh, I spoke too soon. See what it is this time, Rosie. Croup or measles?
Yes, sir, right away.
No more privacy than a Siamese twin. Dr. Codcall is so his own. And as for ever Oh, yes, Rosie, who is it, and what does he think he has?
It ain't a patient, sir.
No? What then?
I don't rightly know, sir. He's an old fellow with white whiskers, like a binny goat. Said to tell you it was your bibliophile calling.
What? Oh, the bibliophile.
You're surprised to see me so soon, eh?
Well, how do you do? Come in.
Thank you.
That's all, Rosie.
Oh, yes, sir.
Please sit down. I hope you're recovered from the bump I gave you.
Well, that's what I came to see you about, Dr. Watson.
Oh, yes?
I've
got a conscience, sir, and when I chanced to see you come into this house, I came hobbling after you because I said to myself, I'll just step in and see that kind gentleman and tell him I'm sorry I was a bit gruff a while back and no harm meant. And I'm much obliged for offering to pick up my book.
Oh, not at all.
Maybe you collect books yourself?
Well, no, I can't say that I do.
Never too late to learn. Now, here's a copy of British Birds, and here's a very fine Catullus.
Yes, but...
Or perhaps this Holy War would be more in your line.
Well, really, you know, I don't think...
A bargain, every one of them. With 5 volumes, you could just fill that gap on the second shelf. So untidy, my dear Watson, quite unlike your old self.
Holmes!
Obviously. I wondered how long it'd take you to penetrate my disguise.
You're not dead.
Your reasoning, my dear Watson, as usual, is faultless.
For heaven's sake,
Easy, Watson, easy.
My dear Holmes, I think I'll sit down.
It's a very good idea. And I'd better have a nip of this brandy.
Yes, I could do with a brace, sir.
My dear Watson, 1,000 apologies. I had no idea you'd be so affected.
But I'm not made of chill steel like you, Holmes. Where's my brandy?
Here you are.
That's so it's really you standing here in my study. Well, thank heaven, why you old reprobate. How in heaven's name did you ever come back alive out of that dreadful chasm where Professor Moriarty met his death?
It's quite simple. I was never there.
Yes, but good heavens, Holmes, it's been 3 years. You let us believe you were dead all that time. Now, was that nice? I asked you.
Not nice, Watson, but necessary. You see, Moriarty's gang was still to be dealt with. I was much safer if they believed I'd met my death at the same time as their leader. For 3 years, I've been living in disguise, tracking the members of that foul brotherhood to the ends of the earth. And now I'm happy to say there's only one left to be dealt with.
But look here, Holmes, why didn't you let me know who you were when I bumped into you in Park Lane just now?
Because, my dear Watson, you were being watched by the man I'm after. The last of Moriarty's gang.
Good heavens, who is he?
Someone you doubtless know, Watson. You may have even played whist with him on numerous occasions, and lost. Most people lose when they play with the tiger, as Moriarty used to call him. A clever man, Watson, very clever. He not only suspects that I'm alive, he even guesses I've returned to London.
Good Lord.
Yes, but I mean to take advantage of this cleverness. I've set a trap for him. I expect to catch my tiger tonight.
Tonight?
Exactly. I, don't suppose you'd care to come along?
You just try to prevent me, that's all I have to say. Just wait till I get my hat and stick.
I think you'll find your old army revolver a little more appropriate, Watson.
I say, Holmes, do we have to do all this pussyfooting down dark mews and through smelly stables?
Absolutely, my dear Watson. It's essential that we should not be followed at this stage of the game. Yes, we've passed Manchester Street and Blandford Street. Here, down this narrow passage.
Good Lord. It's as dark as the black hole of Calcutta.
Here, scale this fence.
Scale the fence?
Now, don't tell me you let yourself get out of condition during my absence.
Certainly not, only, do you think it's quite dignified?
Probably not, but who'll ever know? Up with you.
All right. I've ruined the knees of my trousers.
Oh, stop burbling, Watson, and come along. We've got to get into this house.
Yes, but look here, it's an empty house.
Quite. That's why I selected it. Now, where did I put that key?
Don't tell me you're not going to pick the lock. Holmes, you're losing your grip.
Quiet. Come in. Easy does it. Shut the door after you. Gently, my dear Watson.
Gently? Well, I'm doing my best. There was a draft. Well, now what?
Come along upstairs. We should get a good view from the windows of the upper front room.
You know, Holmes, there's something spooky about an empty house. Strange noises, boards squeaking.
Easy. We turn a corner here. Are you with me?
Oh, absolutely.
Ah, this is the room. Excellent. The light from the street lamps, all the illumination we shall need.
Look here, Holmes. There's something familiar about this street out there. Why, of course, it's Baker Street.
Exactly. We're in Camden House, which stands opposite our old quarters.
Jove, no wonder it looked familiar. But why station ourselves here?
Because it commands an excellent view of our historic dwelling. Might I trouble you, my dear Watson, to draw a little nearer to the window, taking every precaution not to show yourself.
Why?
And then look up at our old rooms. We'll see if 3 years of absence have entirely taken away my power to surprise you.
Well, the windows of our sitting room are lighted. I see there's a man sitting in front of one. Well, look here, it's you, that is, at least it's your silhouette.
It's a bust of me, to be exact. Anything else of interest in Baker Street?
Let's see. There's two disreputable-looking fellows leaning against a lamp-post.
Excellent, Watson. I expected them.
Holmes, good heavens, your head. I mean the dummy. It moved.
Of course, our old friend Mrs. Hudson has orders to move it from below from time to time. Listen, what was that?
Sounded like a door closing.
Yes. I felt a draft. By all that's holy, he's going to operate from inside this building. I expected he'd work from the street as he did before. Quick, Watson, we've got to get out of here. You'll probably want this window.
You mean whoever we're after, he's coming in here?
Of course. Quick, Watson, into the next room. Here. Stand in the shadow where we can watch him without being seen.
I hear footsteps.
He's coming. Quiet if you value your life.
Standing in the doorway. His face is in the shadow of his hat. Great Scott, his eyes blaze in the dark like a cat's.
Like a tiger's, Watson.
He's crossing to the window. He's raising the window.
Not very far, Watson. That won't be necessary.
His stick. His walking stick. Where is he pointing it out of the window?
It's a gun, Watson. Devilish invention. Doesn't make a sound. He's going to take a shot at my silhouette. When we hear the window across the street crash, we know he's fired.
He's aiming.
Get him, Watson, get him! Here! Let go of move, you want! The gun hasn't put your head me.
Oh, not before I squeeze the life out of you! Oh, no, you don't!
Watson, are you all right? I knocked him out.
Yes, absolutely. What's that for?
There's two men from Scotland Yard down in the street leaning against the lamppost. I must say I thought our friend here would do his dirty work outside so they could deal with him firsthand. Ah, here come the regulars. Well, if it isn't Lestrade.
You bet it is. It took the job myself. And maybe we weren't glad to get your message at Scotland Yard half an hour ago. Although I must say we've done pretty well down there in your absence.
Really? Solved the Ronald Adair mystery yet?
Oh, well, that is...
our sleeping beauty seems to be coming too. Gentlemen, allow me to present Colonel Sebastian Moran, late of Her Majesty's Indian Army. I believe I'm correct, Colonel, in saying that your bag of tigers still remains unrivaled.
You go to blazes.
Yes, a remarkable shot. You and your air gun were invaluable to the late Professor Moriarty, eh?
I might have known that wasn't you in the window.
Quite. I'm surprised that such a simple stratagem could deceive so old a shikar.
What do you mean by that?
How often, Colonel, have you tethered a goat to a tree, lain above it with your rifle, and waited for the bait to attract your tiger? This empty house is my tree. You are my tiger. The only difference being that I did not care to be the goat myself. Take him away, Lestrade.
Just a moment. You can't arrest me for taking a shot at a dummy, not even if it's the dummy of Sherlock Holmes.
That's quite right. I arrest you for the murder of the Honorable Ronald Adair, because you are the only man alive capable of shooting a man through the slightly opened window from the street below without being heard. A truly remarkable shot, Colonel. A bit too remarkable. That's how I knew you were the murderer.
And I'll come along, you. Frank, bring that stick along.
Right, sir.
We'll need it as evidence.
Well, Watson, what do you say? Shall we step across the street to our old quarters?
Right-o.
I think you'll find everything just as it used to be, and I'm sure Mrs. Hudson is anxiously awaiting us with sandwiches and a steaming pot of coffee.
Ah.
You see, I remember your weakness.
My weakness? I like that. fact, Mr. Harris, is the story of how I went to live in Baker Street again and started another series of incredible and amazing adventures, which I shall tell you about, if it won't bore you.
Well, what do you think, Dr. Watson? You know, there's just one thing I don't understand about tonight's story, though. Why did Colonel Moran kill Ronald Adair?
Because Adair had discovered Moran was cheating at cards and threatened to expose him. You remember that I said Adair had won £400 at whist the week before with Moran as his partner?
Yes.
That amount made Adair suspicious. He discovered the cards were marked. The very cards, by the way, which were found beside the desk. He examined them again to be sure he'd made no mistake. That's why the door was locked on the inside. He didn't want anyone to interrupt him.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on upcoming videos here on Nightmare Narratives. Feel free to check out our other videos, as you might find something you'll love. Enjoy.